Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I'm Michael Gracia, and I have a great show planned. And I'm sorry I have some light in my eyes right now. Let's change the angle here. It's a little shiny there. So I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Um, we got a few people already watching. I hope you guys are excited. Uh, don't forget, you guys can ask questions at any point during the show. And I have a returning guest. You guys know him. You guys love him. He's done a bunch of how to draw books, and you've all learned from. I've learned from them. Let's bring on our good friend here, Chris Hart. There. How you doing, Chris?
Okay, how you doing, Mike?
Doing good.
Good.
Thanks for coming on tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yep. And we got who's in there? Jay. Hey, how you doing? So yeah, first of all, thank you for coming on. Always love having you on. Always love talking about your books.
Oh, thank you.
So I usually ask people to tell us about yourself, but I think everyone knows you by now.
Yeah.
This is like your, I think, fourth appearance on.
They even know my dog's first name.
Yes. And why am I blanking on it now? Because you always post your pictures of your dog, and I freaking love them. It's
That's right.
What's his name again? Why am I
I'm sorry. It's I'll tell you. I'll give you a choice: either Robert or Spencer.
Spencer?
There you go.
Yeah. No, I honestly, you post like a lot about your dog, and I love seeing those pictures and stuff. I do the same thing with my cat sometimes.
He's a wonderful but evil force in my life. What can I tell you? It's the way it is.
But you love him.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with my cat. I'm actually healing on my head. Last week he decided to jump from the floor on the headboard at 4:30 in the morning, but missed the headboard. And
so you're buying the idea that it was an accident? That's
yeah,
what you're telling me, right? Okay.
and I have some wounds from other things, and luckily it wasn't my drawing hand. But yeah,
Good.
he got me. I mean, he doesn't usually act that way, but things happen.
Let me ask you: if people watching want to ask a question, can they just jump in? Is that okay?
Yes. I mentioned that in the beginning, and I'm
Okay. Sorry, I thought maybe we were like typing something. One time we did it with typing, but if they could just talk, that'd be a great thing. If they can.
Well, no, they can't. They can't ask verbally. They can type. Like Jay just wrote, I learned from Preston Blair animation. What's that? Oh, the book one, Between Then and Now. Yeah, listen, that's a great book. That Preston Blair was, I think, my first how to draw book. But I did graduate to other books, and
Thank God.
and let me tell you, I mean, I've mentioned this, I don't know how many times. I think every time I've talked to you on the air, maybe even when we hung out and met in person a couple of times. What was it? Your beginning books, if you want, like the ones you started out, the How to Draw Everything, or what is it? Everything You Wanted to.
Cartooning, but we're afraid to draw.
Afraid to ask, or afraid to draw. The basic How to Draw Cartoons, the Drawing from the Funny Side of the Brain, and How to Draw Comic Book Superheroes, I think, and
Heroes and Villains, right? Yeah,
Villains, that's it. Those were my my first books. There were like 4 of them,
wow,
and
amazing.
From the 90s, and I loved them so much that I remember at one point, because I collect books, I collect how to draw books, or at least I used to. I wanted to share, and I gave them to people I thought would benefit from them, but I missed them so much that I had to go out and buy them again. So
that's really something. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry, I got to take off my glasses to read here. Is that love? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to move this to another screen. It's going to look a little weird.
Oh, okay.
My camera's in a different position, but love kayak. Love kayaking. Oh, good evening to you both. All right, I'm going to come back here so it doesn't look weird when I'm talking to you. I have 3 monitors.
That's good. I get to see if they say if they want to interject, I get to see it also.
Yeah, nice. That's great. So yeah, you guys ask whatever questions you want. So, Chris, you have a brand new book.
Right.
I wanted to hold on. Is that me? I'm hearing a little.
It's the faucet.
Oh, the faucet. Okay. Uh, uh, I wanted to ask you because you made a post about this book, and I got confused on the post. The name of the book is "How to Draw Everything Cute for Kids." Is this for like people who want to draw for kids, or for kids to learn how to draw?
Well, that's a great question, and that's one thing I want to explain tonight. It's really for both. I mean, if you want, this is for kids. This is geared that way from my experience of how observing and working with how kids draw. But there are a lot of people who want to draw for kids also, so they'll like it, and kids like that type of drawing.
Yeah.
At a certain level of detail, like comic book heroes and villains, you lose them a little bit. It's so energetic and so busy that it's difficult. Well, that's great. So I have a list of some things to say about it, give you some insights I think you might not know if you want to say draw a children's book, or come up with some ideas for an animated story for kids. Now, this is just my own personal observations. You may want to use them, you may not want to, but it might give you some things to think about. So should I mention a few of them, Michael?
Yeah, hold on one second. I just want to go to a comment.
Yeah.
I just want to say let's put it up on the screen so I can read it easier. It says, that's from William Harmon. He goes, I took an in-person class from Chris years ago and was impressed by him saying that every artist, cartooning and others, needs to do cartooning every day. Everything is based on the basic shapes. Absolutely. And that's something I agree with.
That's right. Absolutely.
I draw every day. My whole life is about cartoons. But yeah, let me share the screen.
Well, thank you very much.
And we can talk about some of the stuff you were mentioning, just how it could be. You want to do children's books. You want to, I guess, do even comics for kids.
Yeah, comics, right? Comic strips.
Comic strip. Yeah. So this is the cover. Talk about. I'm sorry to interrupt from before, but continue with what you were going to say.
No, sure. So some things I've noticed is that, first of all, if you watch how children draw, it's almost more elucidating than what they're drawing. For instance, they're very purposeful, generally. It's all generalities.
Yeah.
And they become completely immersed. They're very serious about what they draw. They kind of huddle over and almost want to jump into the page. Whereas adults tend to want the flow and everything. They don't want flow. They don't want to know from flow. So they like a point of focus. If you give them a page this big, they'll find a point of focus. And they like it. So if you draw for kids, you want a scene, you may not want to have an important thing at this side of the page and this side of the page. It might be better just to have one point of focus, and maybe some clouds here and a few trees over here, so not to have them dissipate, because that's how they think. Another thing is that they I have my notes up here. They don't sketch. I mean, I've never seen a kid sketch lightly to try to find the idea. They go right in, boom. I mean, they are on target, and they press hard in black and white, and they're also that sort of, that's very, I'm going to go in for it. I'm going to press hard. That's how they think also about the story and the character. Like, it's no subtlety. In kids' stories, you don't usually see somebody who is kind of a good guy, but a little of a bad guy too. He's a good guy, he's a bad guy, or go home. That's it, So that's one way you can extrapolate from how they draw to what you might want to draw if you're drawing for them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another thing is they never try to draw something two different ways. They go in there, they want that to be their thing, and that's it, and it's set. For instance, what do I do with that comment? Well, suppose I have a prince in a story, and he's born in this castle, he has his family in this castle. And then he goes to another castle to like have a family and everything. That's not his castle. That's the castle. The one I saw in the beginning. That's really his castle. So they have a real loyalty to things. It's hard you really have to bridge carefully to jump that logic. Just a couple more.
Yeah.
Let's see. children are very good at drawing generally. All this is general personalities and costumes, and they have a sense of humor, and they really have a sense of humor. Um, but personalities and costumes can go together very well, rather than just if one thing. If you show one with great personality or somebody in a costume, it really, I think, can be enhanced by putting them together. They'll get that. They'll really get that. That's why they do so many medieval things. You've got a personality, the queen, and her great gownness, or the knight and his armor. So, that works together. The last thing I'll mention, so I don't get boring unless I already have, and that's always a danger, is that they like things that are not too complicated. Clearly, because children, and they see what they see, and they want to get it right away, and they do. What that means is, if you interpret that, is that they like things that are symmetrical, and not quite as much. Oh no, like if they like things that are symmetrical. Wait. But because it's different and still not difficult, they love things that are asymmetrical. So a high-rise building is great, like this. But a big, tall, evil, laboratory, which is kind of on its side, and the things going up this way and pipes that way, they love it. Look at Dexter's lab. It's full of stuff like that. It's not, it's going this way, it's going that way. It's fun because they have this kind of serpentine mind at this age. We all do, actually, where they're figuring this out and they're getting this and they're getting that. So it's like a buffet of fun things. Okay, so that's my big speech about that. If you want to know how to ideas on submitting to a children's book publisher, I can answer that, or we could talk about anything except nutrition. I don't like to talk about nutrition. So you tell me.
Well, first let's go to a comment.
Very nice.
The wonderful, and I'm going to call him this, hope he doesn't get embarrassed. He's a wonderful cartoonist, self-syndicated of the strip Sour Grapes, Tim Jones. Says, "Hi, Chris. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I am so grateful for you and your books and learning cartooning over the years. It has really helped me with my own strip. Thank you."
Well, thank you so much for that kindness.
Yes. His stuff is funny. So if you guys haven't seen Sour Grapes, go out and check it
out. I just wrote it down. I will. Yes. I'm sure I had a lot less influence than he says, but that's very nice.
He's very funny. He's got a great sense. And he's also in A Kid in the Comic newspaper, which my Wiz character will be ending this year, but I'll be bringing a new strip into that soon.
Oh, I see.
Little.
Did 2 animations of a bouncing ball. That's great.
Oh, I missed that one, Shay. Sorry. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yes. So we're able to answer any questions, I guess, except nutrition. Oh, that's Chris. I actually talk about nutrition, but
we also have someone who likes the Preston Blair book. I should show you. I actually have a book signed by Preston Blair.
Do you now?
Yeah, I was working for well, not yet working for Quarto, which was a Walter Foster imprint many years ago, and the publisher at the time, Ross Saraceno, wanted me to do a book for him. And so as a little present, he gave me that signed copy of a Preston Blair book. I could not believe it. I mean, that, all of us cartoonists, that was like, as a friend of mine likes to say, that was the center of the universe.
It really, I have a print up above me. It's a print of a signed Preston Blair poster. And if I could turn, I'd have to switch cameras, but it's Red Hot from the Droopy cartoons, and it's her dance cycle.
Oh my God.
Behind her. I look at this every day. Yeah. And there are 3 things I have on that wall that I look at every day. It is that. Next to it is the final Calvin and Hobbes strip, a print of that. And then on the other side is an original Sergio Aragonés Gru drawing. Though, like 3 of the top things that was my childhood for comics and animation.
I met him a bunch of times, Sergio.
Oh, Sergio, I've only met him a couple of times, but yeah, he's a great guy.
Funny, also, really very funny. It's amazing he could develop that skill and that kind of special brand of little tiny crazy guys on the margin.
Yeah, Oh my God, he's and I look at it as the speed. There's also an intelligence in the simplicity of what he does, if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like his work can be very detailed, but it's so and I think that's the intelligence in there,
Mm-hmm.
that he could do it so simple but convey so much information.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
We have a comment from William, and he has a question. Do you have any comments on introducing digital drawing to children, such as Procreate or Wacom tablets?
I don't actually. I'm a pencil guy. That's what I do. I pencil and scan. I would love to um, employ Michael's facilities a little to help me because he's a great tutor. We've talked about doing that again.
Yes.
I'm not. It's not like it goes natural and logical to me. It really isn't. It should be, But I think first I have to master the cell phone. I'm really close. I can send emails on it, but I can't receive them yet. I'm getting there. No, seriously, I think it's a great idea. I don't know that you want to overwhelm them. Sometimes I think kids can quit things if they're overwhelmed. So I give them something very simple, unless you're letting them use something of yours, and you can just make sure that you're guiding them to the simple aspects of it.
Yeah.
But once they get going, that'll be something else.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, and because I have, well, now they're all older, but I have 5 nephews, and when they would come over and they see my Cintiq set up or my iPad, and I don't have, I mean, I have Procreate on the iPad, but I don't have simple software for kids to draw, and I had Photoshop, Clip Studio Paint, things like that, where there's a lot of places they can go, and I think something like that could be overwhelming because there's so much they can do. I would wait until maybe like 4th grade to really introduce them to digital stuff. Before that,
Hmm.
really keep them with pencil and paper and markers, colored pencils, whatever. Let them learn and get used to drawing on paper, and understand what these things are before you say, well, this is a paintbrush tool, and this is what you could do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, sure.
that's my thing.
Because you might expect great things on the computer, but you have to draw them. They're not going to come out just that way.
Excuse me. Yeah, and I'm with Chris. I use digital because professionally that's what I'm asked to do on times.
Mhm.
But if I could, I would never go
Oh,
digital.
really? Oh, that's
I
interesting.
I know it, and I'm technically very good with it, and I've taught it, and I've taught software. I've done it all, but it's really more for working professionally that I had to learn it.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, Michael, I want to ask you if you could show a piece of art from
yeah.
the inside. I want to mention one thing also about what I do as far as teaching for kids, which is different from teaching for
So
adults.
let's go to the next picture right here.
Okay, sure. Like in these, you notice that there's hardly any. Well, let's go to one more. Just one more.
Do you want me to
Thanks.
continue with this or go to the stuff at
No,
the
the next one.
the next one?
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. You notice that unlike the other cartoons that I do, in this book, there are hardly any guidelines.
Mhm.
Center line, eye line. There's hardly any of that stuff because kids really don't like that stuff because they can't get it into their minds. What I see that it's not part of the cartoon. So why am I drawing this X on the face? They want to want to get right to it, and to them that's another step. Well, you and I, and all cartoonists and aspiring cartoonists know that's how you keep everything level and looking good.
Yeah.
But so we get them right into it and base everything on very recognizable shapes, so that they feel they can get something. If they can get something right in the beginning, rather than just draw an eye expression where that's tough to get. So they have the confidence. So these are strategic decisions that seem to make things a little better. And the bottom right box is so they can actually draw in the book. They don't have to get more stuff. They can stay focused. Like I said, laser focused on that page. They don't have to look at that page, then look at a second page. So these are some considerations. Every book that you do, whether it's comic strip that we spoke about, Sour Grapes, And the other ones, you're always making strategic decisions based on what you like and what you want the reader to get from it, and how you want them to react.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to go to the comments, say hi to Mike Wilkie. I hope you're still watching. Mike is terrific. His humor is great. I've had him on the show. We had a contest who could draw and come up with an idea faster. He had it in like 30 seconds, and I still wasn't even ready for stuff.
Right.
Chase says, I have Procreate on my iPad. It's his favorite app. William sent a smiley face. I think that was about our comment about, introducing kids. Chase says, I assume this is your personal project, Che. I drew Johanna as a sugar plum fairy on international. Oh yes, I remember you now, and you have your character is a rabbit, if I remember correctly. What's this? Who's that? I can't read the name. Toon. Ooh, they're starting to go fast now.
Toon Roger
says, I wonder how many paper and pencils the 602 Blackwing do such things, then scan it. Oh, this is how he works. Paper over digital. Muscle memory is a great thing for at least one lesson every other fourth project. Okay. Dylan says hello. Chase says sketchbooks are used for drawing. And is that shirt says hi. Me and my daughter Ellie say hi. Hello.
Hello, hi.
I'm all caught up here. Yeah, no, I love the simplicity that you're showing in here. I work with kids quite often, and I have done where I've done too many guidelines because it's just how I'm accustomed to doing things, and I got to remember to break stuff down. So this is 100% on the mark of how kids like to learn and love to draw. Yeah, I love this here.
Thanks. Yeah, we did chapters on stuff like this. Chapter just on funny food with personality, because you have to pick carnival food. You can't pick filet mignon for like with faces. So it was fun, and then stuff like transport and toys. Besides all the animals and all the people.
Yeah,
so I like your new cartooning book. Let's see what you take. Oh, that's great. Oh, great. Thank you. Which book are you referring to? Which cartooning book? This one here?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to put it up on the screen so everyone could read what he said. Where's my mouse? There it is. So I said, I like your new cartooning book for the same reason you're talking about for kids, simple and direct path to results. I'm enjoying the new book for kids as much as my grandkids are.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's great. I appreciate that. I'm so glad that I like it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful when kids get to really, really like something, I mean, as part of it, there should be a ticket into childhood. So, you're going to get to like a lot of stuff, And I have a disagreement with some ways schools are, and which is that sometimes they keep you so busy, you do so much homework at night, and this society is going to continue to flourish if we have imaginations. But I know for sure that the best way for someone to really be creative is for them to be lightly bored.
Yeah.
Because they want to entertain themselves. They think of stuff. Yeah. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe, how about that? But if you never see a kid drawing on, as they're running after a soccer ball. And, you gotta let them do this,
No, I 100% agree with that. As someone who's worked in schools, I have a lot of issues with how the schools are handling things, and that's one of the things. And this is something I've always seen. Growing up, it was always they push sports as opposed to the creative arts. When money has to be cut from the school, it's in the arts. You see music go, art go, theater go. You see these things disappear, and I know not everyone could grow up or dreams about doing this, but the ones that were like me and probably like you, who I know for me, I'm not going to talk about you, but I wasn't the best student, and art was my outlet. I use it honestly for everything. When I'm upset or angry, art is how I get my emotions out, and cutting that stuff out of of an education is I think one of the worst things for kids. I always say I don't care what you. I think everyone should have some kind of creative outlet. And it doesn't have to be drawing, painting, whatever. It could be, hey, I want to put a puzzle together. I want to do something where I'm physically kind of using my mind to think about how things have to be done. It could be, I want to build Legos. It's something.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. That's it.
Oh well, that's the thing about art, which is a little different from other things, is that you have to use the internal structure you created in order to continue to create it correctly. What I mean by that is, say you had to have a smart kid. You want to draw a smart kid, and so you give him, say, stereotypical big glasses and little eyes, and then you give him like kind of make him very thin, but make him very tall. You say, wait a second, wait, I'm drawing a character that's a kid, very smart, big head, but why is he so tall? We think of like little geniuses. So my reference is for what's right, what's wrong is what I've already drawn. It didn't come from here. It comes from what you did. If you want to draw a bridge that looks a certain way, and at the end you're going, wait a second, it's supposed to slope like this. That's how I started it. So now I've got to change it so it slopes further. So you're using your own drawing to check your own drawing. Now that's really not the way it is in math, because it's got to be right from the beginning, and you can't just say it's right. But in art you can. You say, I want this to look like this. I want it to be this style, and it's up to you to find the guardrails on that piece of art.
Yeah.
I always think that's really cool about art. I really do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's there's a lot of hold on one second. There's a lot of God. I mean, there's so much to art, and the way. And I'm sorry, I was reading some comments too, and I think I got people into government conversations now. I'm sorry.
So hold on a second. Someone wants to know if they should try to show kids how to stage poses and yet draw on the first try. I'm not quite clear on that, but I think you mean how many times they should try a certain drawing. And I would think if you're a kid, I think you should stop when you want to stop.
Yeah.
And I think if you just give a kid some prompts, meaning they can watch some animated TV shows, you give them some books with their favorite character, and you give them supplies, just step out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't think it should become a chore or an assignment. Later on, if they really want to learn how to draw, they can pick up like my books or other people's books, and they'll make it an assignment by themselves. Michael, did anybody have to tell you should really start studying cartoons, or were you already doing it?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I've always said cartoons are really, I mean, since I guess television, cartoons have been our first introduction to art, or really anything as a kid. What happens as a kid, your parents throw cartoons on, and I was introduced to all the characters that I ended up collecting in comic books through television first. I didn't know Batman was a comic book until I went to store. Spider-Man, all the Hulk. I didn't know any of those were comics. I watched Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and the Super Friends as a kid, and they had all these heroic things that I loved. And the only thing even Mickey Mouse, it was, before I knew Mickey had comics, I watched Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Right.
So that's kind of how I learned to draw was through cartoons, and then later on through comics and all the books. I just want to go to a couple of comments though. So Tim Jones says, I write and draw at the same time. It helps me write, writing matching expressions and actions. Okay. It's good to have, if you can keep a schedule, I think that's good.
Sure.
And then this was the one I think you were commenting on. Please state how much it needs to. Oh, it's a stage pose. All I'll say is to that, and I don't know if you hit upon it. I'm sorry, I was catching up on all the comments, but reference is important. I draw from reference all the time, and you can change things looking at it, but get your poses from that if you need. What was it here? I use VizRef, which is a great program to. It's a thing. If it's the one I'm thinking of, you can just put images in there to create your reference sheets. So almost like creating a board that you have, if that's the one I'm thinking of. It says government does not.
Yeah. Just want to say hello.
So which one?
She's from the Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I missed it. It said, hey, I found you. Woo. Okay.
I wanted to mention something that the government used to really believe in art in the Depression era. Mm-hmm. They hired great artists to do murals all over this country. So you can still see them. And so artists who are down now were employed by the government to make things look beautiful. Yeah. So that was something.
Yeah. Well, art has changed over the years in the way people look at it. Hold on. My psychiatric counselor and artist daughter uses art as therapy. It's great. And what I mean by that, who do we got here saying hello? Starlight Game Anime. Cool. No, like when newspaper cartoonists were the celebrities, I mean, back in the 30s and 40s, and the celebrities, may have had movie stars, but they were looking up, because they were reading Dick Tracy every day or whatever. So they were really big into Chester Gould or Hal Foster or all those guys. Those guys were the celebrities at the time.
Right.
So even to the movie stars. So, now that's not how people look at cartoonists anymore. So, you can see just the change there. But, you go overseas and certain countries will look at artists as, oh, my God, I know in South America, puppetry is really revered in certain countries. And here people, oh, you're a puppeteer? Oh, unless you work on something like Sesame Street, they don't really look at you as someone who has oh, you have a real job. But then you go to places in South America and even in Europe, and it's like, wow, you're a puppeteer. This is amazing.
Well, there are some forms of art and performing that don't always continue over the decades, like hand-drawn animation. For instance, there used to be, when I was a kid, on the variety shows, there were tons of ventriloquists.
Yeah.
I thought they were the best thing in the world. I wanted a Charlie McCarthy, a ventriloquist doll. But nobody cares now. Nobody cares. It's like if you were to have a dummy's doll, they'd say, put it down and just talk.
I had a Danny O'Day figure.
You did?
Yeah. I loved all that. I mean, I used to work in puppetry, but anyway, let's move on to some of the artwork.
Fun food.
We got our friends in India. I know who Christopher Hart is. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, a hot dog and a hungry burger.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's just stacking stuff together, and it's just fun. So it's easy. Once you get the basic shape, put a few lines in, you've got a row of hot dogs and burgers.
Yeah.
No, I was going to do avocado toast, but I decided not to.
A rabbit. I love drawing rabbits.
Singing animals.
I love this. I have a character I created in high school. I had a friend. His name was Chris, and he played the saxophone. And I used to, I don't know why, but I made him a beaver as a character. So in high school, I used to draw this saxophone playing beaver all the time.
Oh, I want to mention something else. Usually people ask sometimes, they used to ask a lot, which comes first, the joke or the artwork? And I would always say the joke, because that is that way for most people. But some people, very talented, like Tim Jones, will actually can draw at the same time, or draw the artwork first without even an idea what's going to be the caption. It's tough for some people, because you're kind of like, it's like being at the edge of a ledge. You don't know if you're going to be able to jump to the other side. You got this artwork, but you don't know what to say about it. Yeah. But he must have an innate sense of humor. So while he's drawing it, it must be getting funnier. And when he finishes, boom, it's there, or something. He could talk about his process I don't know his process, but I admire that.
Yeah. Well, we'll bring him on again. He's been on a couple of times, and I haven't chatted with him in a while. He's always he's really hysterical.
Mhm.
You wouldn't the way he comes across sometimes you wouldn't know it because you have to like think, oh my God, did he just say that? And then you're laughing for 5 minutes straight. It's just how he is. But yeah, no, he's a really talented writer. I would
So,
have him
what
write.
Comic Cons are you going to this year? Any?
I have Undiscovered Realm Con in White Plains coming up in June. It's the weekend before Father's Day. So is that the 14th? No, the 13th and 14th.
I thought they canceled that. They didn't?
No, Undiscovered Realm is going on. And then I have no official convention planned, but I'm in talks about a couple more in the fall. So I could I'd like to go walk a couple. Right now I have an injured foot, so I haven't been to a show in a while. I don't know how I did it. I was up at a show in Syracuse. I came home and I have a fracture on my right foot.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it happens. But
no, if you also purposely fracture your left foot, you'll walk evenly.
Well, you want to hear something funny? Was it 2 years ago? I did, and my doctor said, he goes, this is the almost exact break in the exact same spot. Like he put the X-rays together, and he was like, it literally is just going in reverse, in the same. It's like almost perfectly lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the exact break. I don't know. He's like, I don't know how you did this, but yeah, driving to Syracuse was like a 4-hour drive, and it was a busy show, and then driving back and all around and walking. Hold on, let's go to some comments. What am I missing here? I think people are writing. So India, hot dog. We did hot dogs in our live animation class. Cool. Looking at I like Five Guys burgers. Yeah, Five Guys. We have Five Guys songs in the car. I have a beaver character named Mitzi. I love the rabbit with the mic. And then I don't know why she said, "Oh, sorry, you don't have to be sorry," because it is an awesome piece. And I love the shark with the mic and the bow tie.
Yeah.
How do you not love that? Let's see. What do we got next on the list here? Panda bears and a cat. Two of my favorite animals.
Oh, yeah.
I think having a cat, I love drawing.
It's fun to have a character whose head is bigger than his body. I mean, it's got to be cute or it's a mistake.
Yeah, it works. It works. I love it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And I love the panda. Sometimes I overdo it with the black areas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I've messed it up.
Yeah, you just need to suggest it a little bit. That's it, and then out, so they recognize it. But to try to put the realistic touches on it, sometimes it gets a little busy. Like if I did a zebra, and I do in this book, I think do a zebra. It's like 3 stripes. It's like that's it, and out. I mean, something like that. Your ankle, sorry.
Oh, that's why you were saying sorry. Yeah, because I have the fracture. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, no, this is I one of the things I love about specifically in the more recent books that we've talked about that you've been on for is the simplicity. It's
oh yeah,
I mean your last few books, like if I remember correctly, outside of the super creative book that we talked about,
right,
really I think have focused on simpler designs.
Yeah.
Now I know we've talked about in the past you really are more of a character designer than anything.
I think so.
And when you've now been working in this way where it appears it's a little more simpler. Is that something like as an artist that you've just kind of come to appreciate more and you're just doing it more, or is this?
No, it was a decision to enter a different category of age-wise for drawing.
Okay.
And what what I needed to do if I were going to do that is I'd have to keep that really consistent. So you wouldn't say this is for kids because you think it's for kids. You have to say this is for kids because every drawing is at a certain level and not above that. For
Mm.
instance, the proportions, as you see, are very small. The marking is very simple, but the eyes are all dot eyes. They're basically dot eyes, and you can't get simpler than that. So every sometimes we don't even have hands. We just have you have arms that just come to this taper at the ends. So it really was a decision to make it look consistent and so it was people got it right away.
Yeah. No, I understand. I got it. No, it looks great. Because I love these type of things too, and I tend to draw with a larger head and smaller body sometimes.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's almost I don't know if you want to call it like the Picasso of cartooning, where you're breaking it down into a simpler uh, concept.
But it's hard too because you really cannot draw an action pose, something built like this. I mean, the most you can do is make them go. That's it, because that body is not moving.
Yeah,
That's a stationary body. But that's the fun. So it's a cute thing. Cute action poses. If you were to throw something, you would never have a character like that throw this way. It would be like this, just like that, with a big, action line and then the ball. And that's fun too. But again, it's all keeping consistent with who the character is.
yeah. No, I love it. Let's go to the comments. Oh, little pandas and kittens are cute. Oh, my ankle. That was the comment we read. That's my favorite cat. Tiny ears.
Oh, thanks.
I like that there's a year's worth of drawing suggestion. It gives you an opportunity for consistency and progress. Great for kids.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They like to come back to things. My first drawing that I remember as a kid, I had found a big piece of cardboard parchment paper in the house. And obviously it was my father's from work, and it was gray. And I took it because I was like 5, and I would draw on it. And every night for I don't know how long, I would draw on it until it was all a big picture and a landscape with Robin Hood. Now it was very simple stuff, very simple, but I loved going back to it over and over again. And to this day, I still think of that once in a while. I wish I still had it. Sometimes you have fond feelings, not just like I like that picture I drew, but I like that picture. I like that little personality, that little world I created.
Yeah. No, I have a couple of drawings like that in my head that don't exist no more.
Well, some new people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We weren't smart enough when we were 5 to save our drawings.
Yeah. No, I didn't start saving my stuff till like middle school. So, and I go back and I look at it now, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I used to draw that way. And not because I've grown. I'm just like, I didn't really understand stuff, and it's like I had the books. And I'm like, if only I read, like that was like I mentioned. I had the Preston Blair book, cartoon animation, and I used to just look at the pictures. I never read the stuff, so it was like in late middle school, I really sat down and started reading the book.
Yes.
And that's when I was like, oh, this makes sense now.
Yeah. Oh, I've saw somebody entered who is a fan of furry cartoons. I think I know who this is.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can't tell the name that it's not the same name you see on Facebook, so it's tough. But
I got to hold on. I wanted to go back. You got that. Star Luke or Fluke, sorry, said, and writer, joke teller. I don't know where. I think they were talking about you there. Shirt says, my daughter, is that Rylan, enjoyed drawing the ghost and the kitty patch.
Yeah. I was very lucky when I was in high school. I was big on this. I had the Preston Blair book, and I ended up sitting next to somebody in my social studies class when I was a junior. He was a great cartoonist, and he was an aspiring animator. He would bring his animations in. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's great. I can't tell you I wasn't a little jealous, because I was, but we talked about stuff. I was watching him draw. I'd say, hey, I'm having trouble drawing this. And he'd say, do it like this. And we ended up going, we were in Los Angeles at the time. We would go to the animation convention And they were for people who worked at Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
We were 16 years old.
Oh.
And we sit next to people and go, how can I get a job? I want to get a job. And they're like, kid, you're too young. But we had a great time. It's always nice to have somebody who is at a similar level, maybe above, and show drawings to each other, get comments, because you're going to accept the comments. You're not going to feel bad about it. And you kind of push each other on, and you go to a convention. You go to a convention together, things like that.
Yeah.
Like if you have grandkids, you like this book, you might take them to a convention somewhere near you. Just research it, see what you want to do. It says drawings and cartoons or manga that you like, and walk around and see the art and everything. If it's, like I say, check it out in advance. Make sure everything should be appropriate, but it gets a little strange sometimes. But it's nice to have people to share it with, so it's not only solitary.
Yeah. I had a friend I used to go to shows with all the time, and I don't know what happened. We just stopped talking one day, and it was just we kind of just went our separate. I mean, that happens. People grow apart. But there was a friend of mine, and me and her would go to shows a lot together. And
do you ever feel like calling that person again?
I don't even. I mean, I don't have her number. I don't. I mean, I had it, but we, over the years, changed phones, things like that. And I know we both went in different directions of art. Back when we were talking, she was really big into manga.
Oh.
I mean, not that I hated manga at the time, because I never hated manga, but I was doing more cartoony stuff or superhero style stuff. And I don't know. And then last time we spoke, she kind of left the world of cartooning and went into fine art. And I never left cartooning because it's what I love, so that was I mean, but we always had a great time walking shows together.
Mm-hmm.
And I have other friends, and now all my friends are actual artists and pros in the field and whatever, whether they're indie or actual pros, if you will. And we'll go to shows together when we're not tabling together. We'll walk and stuff. And but yeah, no, going to shows and having a friend or someone that you can go with, I think is great. I love it.
I want to thank everyone for the recent comments. Also, it's very nice. Thank you.
I'm trying to get to them right now. It says we got one of your books on how to draw furries and how to draw cartoons. I don't know if I have a book of yours. I didn't know you did a book about furries. Did you? Or
yeah, at Random House. Yeah, when I was at Random House.
Okay, I'll have to look for that one. We need a movie about Chris. I would. I'd watch it. Chris, what year did you first publish, and what was your first book?
1988. It was called How to Draw Cartoons for Comic Strips. It was going to be called How to Draw Comic Strips, but the book designer there said, Chris, there's more cartooning than there is comic strips. He said, what about how to draw cartoons for comic strips? I thought it was a little too involved. He was right. And it sold. I'll tell you a funny story, okay, about this. All right, so I finished the book. I wasn't even thinking about doing books. It kind of fell in my lap. And so I did the book, and then I moved up to California. And I didn't see very many people buying it in bookstores. I saw nothing really. I came back, all of a sudden the editor, this is a couple of years later, wanted to have lunch with me. I thought, why does she want to eat with me? I eat very fast, and I'm not that riveting. So it turned out, she said, your book's like doing really well. It takes a while to get into all the different pipelines. Remember, this was not online back then. They had to ship everything. So she wanted me to do a couple more books for her, and then a couple more books. It just kept going like that. And the first 5 books, out of the first 5 books, I think 4 of them sold either 100,000 each or 200,000 each. These are big numbers for any book, really.
Yeah.
And so then I did Manga Mania. That changed everything, and I really became known for that. And it did me a lot of good in the publishing world.
Wow.
And I was on the cover of Publishers Weekly with that book.
Wow.
And I continued to go, and not everything did well, but I would have hit books every so often. Boom, another one. And, this is okay, maybe not so. Boom, and that sort of track record could do a lot for you. So it was it was interesting because for me, I would observe how things worked in the publishing field differently from how other people would do it. For instance, for the manga book, the the head of sales came over to me and they said, "Chris, the bookstores are asking for a book on manga. Can you do that for us?" No one else was doing it. I mean, there's a tiny little outfit that did it and some Japanese thing, but it wasn't not big.
Yeah.
I said, so I thought about doing it, and I thought, huh. So I went back and I thought, there's like no anime on television. There wasn't. I said, but there's manga, graphic novels everywhere. So I said, okay, I'll do a manga one. That's what I'll do. And what I learned from that, and this is like a lesson in publishing, wherever you work, not that you need one, but this is a good example, if it means something to you, is I realized that, artists don't want to speak to the business people. They don't. They're creative. That's it. You talk to your publisher, you talk to editor. I realized that you should always speak to the salespeople. The salespeople are the ones who are speaking directly to the bookstore. The bookstore tells your salesperson, "I want this," or "I don't want that." Suppose you talk to the salesperson. He says, "What are you working on?" And I say, "Oh, I'm working about this great love story and everything about this woman and this man and everything. And they have this like crazy cat that they can't control." And the sales guy says, "Cat? I can't get a cat to their major bookstore." These are also all examples. Major bookstore. They all have cat stories already. Can you change it to, I don't know, a dog? Can you change it to something else, like a strange sort of thing? Well, you learn that from the salesperson. And, you go back, you change things, and you don't have the resistance because you just didn't know. So I learned who to talk to, and what it meant if somebody were an associate editor, a managing editor, or an acquiring editor, and how which person you lean toward when you listen to them, because you understand that's where the guardrail is.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things like that in publishing, and you think that you'd be dealing with the art director first because you're an artist, but you deal with them last. They generally working on the book after it's handed in. Generally, and let's see. There's also the marketing person. When I had like 6 books out, and then they hired this marketing person at my publisher back many years ago, Watson Guptill. And I was talking to her, and she looked at all my books, they're like laid out, and she said, "Chris, this is a series." And that just changed everything, because you're not giving them one book, you give them 1, 2, 3, 4 books here, 1, 2, 3, 4 books here, one. And then I'll tell you one last thing before I bore the hell out of you. The other thing is a series is a two-edged sword. On the one hand, it's easier to get your next book in if you have a hit book, because they've gotten it already. The bookstore likes it. They want more. On the other hand, every time you come up with another sequel, you're getting narrower and narrower. I mean, you're not like doing like this big spy thriller. Now you're doing a spy thriller during the eclipse. Now a spy thriller during this, and you're reaching further and further for ideas. So it's tough for you creatively, and maybe you really want to do something here, but you can't because you've got to keep this alive. And the more series you can get out, if they do well, the better your earlier books are doing, because they reorder that. Is that too much business stuff? Am I telling too much?
No. Listen, it's very informative, because
Okay.
I think people here are not just fans, but they want to learn how to do this, and then eventually maybe create their own stories, and they don't know where to go. And there is working with a publisher, there is self-publishing, and it falls under self-publishing, just posting it online for free. I mean, there's lots of different ways people can do this, and the stuff you're talking about right now isn't generally talked about,
Right.
I think, publicly or just so openly. I think most people have to, and you should think about this, charge for it. They have to pay classes, workshops, and things.
Also, here's I'll say the biggest one I can leave you with, if you ever want to publish a book, is this: if you approach an agent, You approach a publisher, all the other writers are going to tell you, don't trust them, hate them, they're bad, they kept you waiting 3 months to respond. They want to sell your work. If they take your work, they want to sell your work. Now, are they perfect? Should you trust them like you would trust a family member? Well, of course not. But they're not your enemy. I mean, I would hear so many people complaining, creative people complaining about the person who paid them to write, edited their stuff, got an art director for free, shipped it over. If it comes back, they pay for it. You know, it's just it's really not. It's not like disliking the person who's going to pay you is not a great look. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm just saying that.
No, I agree with that 100%. I've worked with editors and people who are very difficult to work with, but this is my rule professionally. I try not to let people who have a say over my work get under my skin, because at the end of the day, whether they're the ones paying me or someone else, they're working for someone who's paying me, they're just trying to put out the best book, and I have
That's right.
to follow what they're doing. So for me, I will do what they want because it's a job, you know. And my job in this particular project is to give them art to look the way they want it to look.
Right. Yeah. Like a lot of people will think that creative people will think that they're trying to ruin my book.
Yeah.
But they're really not doing that. And you know, a lot of times they are making a commercial decision, which they think will help your sales. And really, most of the time, maybe not always, maybe they're saying they want to do something, and you really, for creative reasons, think not. But sometimes you really liked it your way, but what they're saying isn't so bad. It's got merit to it.
Yeah.
You like some of it, and it will help the book. So, you know, you have to take that. But look, I've had disagreements with editors. I've had disagreements with different people. But, you know, we're all on the same side, which is we all want a good book. So ultimately, you know, that's it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Let's get to some comments. We're a little behind on comments right now. It says, I love these types of tutorials, you know, meaning the ones you have here. I have several of Christopher's books on Cartoon Academy and manga. They're a lot of fun and very accessible for all new artists of all ages, 100%. I'll be honest, I sometimes go back, and I will definitely say at least once a year, I reread Drawing from the Funny Side of the Brain.
Oh, thanks. I love that book.
Love that book so I think that might be my all-time favorite.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. 9 o'clock now.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll let me go through a few comments. We'll wrap up very soon here.
Nice.
And I want to show a couple of more pieces of art because I just really love them.
Right.
It says, I appreciate being able to follow you on Facebook because it allows me to ask questions and watch your examples. I appreciate today's technology that lets us have access to your advice. Okay, that's common. That was talking about what I said. Let's just skip. I went crazy at all your books at Barnes and Nobles. Give them what they want. I'm just trying to see. Cartoon to sell. Oh, this is, I guess, when we were talking about everything with working with publisher. Then make a book, cartoon how to sell and sales, how it works and how it does not work.
Sure.
Great interview, but gotta go. Chris, I love your art style. This really is very unique. I love your work. Teach niche sales of how to. And good night, Spencer. Okay, so someone's going to bed. And I just want to show, where is it here? Quickly, some of the loose sketches. And I'll go through these very quick because I know, you know, we've kind of hit that hour mark. But I love looking at your pencils, your roughs. And I like that. That's one of my favorite things to look at, I guess, just being an artist. I like to see the idea stage of things. But I just love looking at these types of.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Your dragon is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
You know, it's funny because I love drawing dragons, but everything looks like it belongs in the Flintstones to me.
Well, that's good too.
No, but I always want to do like a nice little monstrous, evil dragon kind of thing. I'm a big fantasy fan, and I'm actually working on a new fantasy project right now, which I can't talk about. And it has dragons and elves and gnomes and all that fun stuff in there. And let's end it on a great picture, one of my favorites.
Thank you.
I love this piece so much. I really, really do.
Spencer.
I'm sorry I forgot his name. I really love when you post photos and make up little stories about him on your Facebook page.
Okay.
It's so much fun.
Thank you.
But we should wrap it up. Let's get over just quickly. I'm sorry, my mouse is all over the place here. Quickly to the cover again so everyone can see it. People can get this on Amazon?
Yeah, absolutely. If you do, leave a review. That'd be great.
Awesome. And let me just get to the screen here, and we'll turn this off. And so we're back up on the big screen. Everyone can see us here. I want to thank everyone for watching tonight. I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you, everybody.
Sharing your new books with us here and with me. I love that. You always put out something really great, something
Thank you.
Not just fun, but I feel very educational, and you really put a lot of thought into what you want to share with your audience.
Thanks. I try to do that.
Yeah,
it's
really,
nice to see that. Thanks.
It really is great, and yeah, I think I might be pulling out a drawing from the funny side of the brain tonight. It might be that time of year for me.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming on. Let me know when your next book's ready.
Okay.
But I do hope we talk, and we hope to get to see each other before that happens.
Can I talk to you afterwards for a second?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Let me end the stream, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back next week with another guest. And not this weekend, but maybe early next week, I'll probably do a live stream. Okay. All right. And maybe I'll do some drawing. I will talk to you all later. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye, guys.